Thank you very much. I have the audacious task of, after you guys being, I'll use the word, inundated with ideas after ideas after ideas, here you are to be filled with another 20 ideas, correct? Let me hear how you feel about that. No. Incorrect answer. You're supposed to go, What we want to do, my goal is at the end of this 30 minutes, perhaps we will take a lot of what we have learned and we have kind of maybe started to think through, not learning new things, but really refining. When I walk out of here a little bit later and I get back at my desk on Monday, I am very clear with what I'm going to work on next. We'll see how we do. Okay. That was the last time I wore the only time I've wore a suit, I would say, in about 15 years. So you're seeing something very special up there. This is my family. I'm from the great state of Michigan. That oldest one up there, the tall one, he went off to college in the fall. I am now officially the old man who says, hey, young people with young kids, it goes fast. It goes fast. Soak it in. And I don't want to steal thunder from later, but let me just pause on this for a second. It goes fast. You working and sitting there at 6 o'clock p.m. on a Thursday, kids don't even have anything going on that evening, let's say, and you're sitting here going, I really got to buckle down. I got to get this estimate done. You have got to design a business that allows you to truly be present with those you care about the most. It goes by too fast. Oh, that was emotional. Oh, that was so emotional, Kyle. I didn't think you were going to take us. My goal is to just take you on a roller coaster of emotions. We're off to a good start. Okay. A lot of what I do, I've been doing it for 17 years. I work with remodelers from around the country. We have peer groups like these beautiful things up here. And it's all about helping, you guessed it, remodelers be on the rise. And that means different things for everybody. What I want you guys to think about, you don't have to close your eyes because I don't want anybody to fall asleep. But I want you to kind of think about this. The year is 2030. JobTread Connect 2030. 5 years from now. 1,825 days from now. Hang on, let me pause over here. I saw Eric earlier. I don't know where Eric is. I saw Eric earlier, and we were talking. I said, what is this going to look like next year? And then Spencer Powell was right there, and he goes, I bet you guys are going to have 10,000 people here at some point. And I looked at Eric. I said, I bet you'll never get to 10,000 people at your user conference. And what do you think he said to me? Oh, you just watch. I'm good at motivating. I'm good at encouraging. I apologize. He's already on a mission. He's even more on a mission because he's going to text me and say, remember 7 years ago. The year is 2030, 5 years from now, 5 years from now. I want you to think for you. Some of you, it's in your job. Some of it's in your business. What does it look like? What does it look like in 5 years? What does your business look like? What does your job look like? What does your life look like? What does your marriage look like? What about your health? What about how you invest your time? I'll pause on that health thing. I went to the bathroom earlier, and I was washing my hands, and I looked in the mirror, and I thought, Kyle, you're going for an optical illusion with this shirt, but you might want to just do a couple sit-ups. You'll probably lose about 10 pounds. And I set a goal that if I'm on this stage next year, you're going to look at me and go, that man's fit. We'll see. Why are you clapping? Is that motivation? Is that what you guys are doing? Houston, I want you to be my accountability partner with that. And I know you take that seriously. Okay. But 5 years from now, what does it look like? What is your 2030 vision? I'm emphasizing, you can see I did everything I could to say your 2030 vision. The thing I love about this business, the thing I love about this industry of remodeling, of contracting, is I am convinced, because I've seen it in so many different ways, that there are thousands of different ways to be successful in this business. There is not one size fits all, and that should be encouraging to all of us. I want to give you a couple stories. That's Rob and Linda Bartashevitz. Don't ask me how to spell it. Rob and Linda. They're running it varies a little bit, but about $1 million a year remodeling business. Generally speaking, that's kicking out in owner compensation about $175,000, sometimes about $200,000 in owner compensation. How do we feel about that? Pretty good. My boy Rob is the kindest guy I know. My boy Rob delivers a remarkable project, and my boy Rob is something that, if we're honest with ourselves, all of us are chasing. He is content. He's content. Rob, hey, do you want to grow? What about $2 million? I'm good, Kyle. Well, what about this? What about that? I'm feeling pretty good. I want to refine things. He is content. In your 2030 vision, what does contentment look like? Interesting. It's one way to be successful. This guy, Brett Olexon, Oddfellows Contracting. He has a jingle. Do you want to hear the jingle? I didn't think I was going to be singing, but do you want to hear a jingle? Yeah. Too bad. I'm in charge. I could care less if you want to hear a jingle. No, I'll give you a jingle. Oddfellows Contracting, beautiful spaces. Why are you not clapping at that? You clapped when you're like, Kyle, I said, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. You're like, yeah, you need to. Good job. And then I sing my heart out. I'm vulnerable up here, and you guys are dead silent. After, might I add, it was quite beautiful. Brett Olexon. That's forced. It's forced clapping. Brett Olexon, around $5 million of revenue. Brett is a man on a mission. He's been a man on a mission from the moment I met him. He has the desire to grow. He's been able to grow his business to the point where he's got a salesperson, he's got an estimator, he's got a few designers. He's really been able to step back from his business in so many different ways. Yet he's still passionate about his business. The way that he has built his business, his vision is so much different than Rob and Linda. There's more than one way to do this. There's Josh Nelson. That building that you're looking at, he paid for in cashola. He saved it up piece by piece by piece, year over year over year. Debt is dumb. Cash is king. Some guy says that, right? But that's how he rolls. And Josh has built about a $3 million business. He is very focused on his numbers. We've improved them tremendously. He's got his gross profit margins up. And he runs a business, frankly, different than Rob and Linda. Different than Brett. There's my boy Ben. Ben runs, anybody want to take a guess at the revenue Ben brings in? Now, you are in a peer group with Ben. No, you do not get it. Anybody want to take a guess? This also gives me an opportunity to just take a little water. 6.5? We're going to take 5 guesses, and the person closest gets a hat.
20.
I heard 20, and you're close, so it's going to be easy to throw, and he did 21 million last year. I know I hit you with that hat, but it does not belong to you. But since I hit you and I feel bad about it, there you go. Oh, you missed it though. Ben's doing 20 plus million in revenue. Ben's life is a lot different than a lot of ours. Ben's team is a lot different than a lot of ours. Ben does business in a very high rent district, and his business looks totally different. Do you get what I'm saying here? All of this can look so much different. What is your vision? I have a slide coming up, but I'm going to share it right now. Teddy Roosevelt. Comparison is the thief of joy. We have to be careful when we compare ourselves. It can be motivating, it can be encouraging, but it can also be the thief of joy. Last example. Jason and Cheryl Carmack. They're down in Cincinnati, running about a $2 million business. Jason has been able to get himself mostly out of the business for the most part. He's got an amazing team. He focuses so much. If any of one of my clients, he said, who's got their culture figured out? Who's really invested in that over a decade? Jason's my guy. They have a vision. Visions on the river. They bought this property about 5 years ago. They've got these tiny homes. They're all themed. They're Airbnb-ing it, and he is loving it. He is loving it. He named his business Vision Construction. He's had this thought, this vision thing in a while. This thing that I want to kind of share here at the start is, what is your vision? What is your vision? I know it always doesn't seem like this, but you have a lot of control. You have a lot of control over what happens in your life. Yes, life throws us curveballs. Yes, sometimes the phrase, we make plans and God laughs. Yes. But we do have a lot of control over the decisions we make, the directions we make, and frankly, a lot of us are sleepwalking. A lot of us don't think about what I want this to look like. Don't take true stock in what is working right now and what is not. If you're overwhelmed, if you have too much on your plate, the only thing that's going to help you move towards a better work-life balance, towards maybe the life that you want to go towards, is being purposeful with thinking through your vision and taking that seriously. 2 years ago, I wasn't very clear with my 5-year vision. And I like the 5-year. 10 years, for some reason, it just is too murky for me. And I'm part of a peer group myself with some of my colleagues. And I told my wife, Sarah, I said, heading out to Denver for our little retreat. I'm not coming back until I have my 5-year vision. Is Tom in the room? Remember that guy that tripped coming up here? Tom was there. And where is he? Is he not here, in here? Oh, customer is more important than his buddy Kyle. So I go out there to Denver, and like 2 hours into our first meeting, I said, people, I do not feel good. I hate to say it. We've flown out here. We're into for 2.5 days of meetings. I do not feel good. I feel like I'm just going to throw up. And so I don't know if I had COVID. I had something. So I stayed, but I went down into the basement of the house we rented, and I zoomed in most days. What they ended up doing is taking this height chair. They took this height chair, and I was participating in the meetings, and then when they wanted us to talk, they go, "Baby Kyle, do you have any comments on what this looks like?" And I ended up before I got back, I got healthy 2 days later, I got back on the plane. I had a very clear vision for where I wanted to take the business in 5 years. And what's been amazing this last year is by having, instead of flirting around with it, instead of debating, instead of kind of, I don't know, maybe this, maybe that, it has helped me be so much more decisive. I have made more forward progress in the last year in my business than in the last 5 or 6 years combined. Having a clear vision matters. Work hard to get clear on what your 2030 looks like. I do have this. I'll leave it up here for just a minute. I have a nice lesson, free of charge, on casting your business vision. I'm a big proponent of, hey, Kyle, that sounded interesting. And then you get back to your desk and you go, how does that work? If you scan that, the link right at the top of that is a free lesson and recording on that. Okay. Oh, we're doing good. It's supposed to be 16 minutes before Eric takes the stage when I'm done with this spot. It's going smoothly. Can somebody yell for me a takeaway that they've had so far? 5-year vision. Huh? Calories. Calorie deficits. Yes, I didn't understand you, sir, but that was good. I didn't hear it. I couldn't hear it. It is a big room. Take the time to plan. All right, we're golden. There's Teddy. I already talked about that. All right, now, let's bring it back to now. A little bit of a roadmap. I'm just going to summarize this. It'll literally take 30 seconds. Your business is built on 6 main systems. Oh, you've heard so much on systems. I'm not going to bore you. But when you think about it, you go back to your office. We've got 6 systems in our business. We've got our financial system. Oh, we've been talking about that a lot this week. We've got our marketing system and generating leads. We've got our sales system and how we take a lead and turn it into a paying project. We've got our production system and making everything happen out in the field. We've got our people system, and we've got our operations system. The thing now that we went to that 5-year vision that I want to bring you back to is you consider all the things you learned this week. You consider all these 6 areas of your business. And I want us to get back to, we're in Q1 of 2025. When you think about those areas of your business, which one of those areas are you locking in on and are going to move you towards that 2030 vision? But I'm talking between now and March 31st. You have got to think through. And the reason I wanted to just show you all 6 of those, show of hands, who has some goals related to their systems, their operations part, all of the systems and software. Anybody have any improvements they want to make to their operations and systems? Oh, shocker. Show of hands, who has some ideas related to how to improve their financials? Ooh, that warms my heart. It's about equal. What I need you to consider, think about that vision. Think about what you're going to do. Think about right now, and do not Do not go towards the thing that's super exciting if there's a thing that you really need to focus on related to your financials. So many of you, I plead with you that if you need to organize and improve your financials, that you start with that you focus on that. The other thing I would say from a coaching standpoint, more focus on fewer things, hyper focus on fewer things. I was talking to the employee of one of my clients in the hallway. I said, "How was your experience?" He said, it was wonderful. I said, "Talk to me about what you got here." And he said these lovely words. He said, "I've got 5 things that I'm going to work on implementing based on these last few days." How do we feel about 5 things? Huh? Thank you. You saw me up here wanting a response, and he goes, "You know what? I'm going to be brave. I'm going to say, that man right there with the beard, I can't really see you. Come on up here and get that hat right there." Thank you. More focus on fewer things. I worked for this IT company for a while, like as their outsourced marketing director, like right when I started my business before I really focused on Remodelers. I used to go out to Connecticut every quarter, and what was super interesting, as the business grew, the number of things each quarter that we were working on dwindled. Interesting. Business was growing, number of things we worked on dwindled. And as we dwindled, the number of things we were focusing on, there was way more implementation. 5 things, not bad. If you're taking notes, write 1, 2, 3, and try very hard before you get on a plane, before you get back in the car heading home, try to identify your top 3 things. I'm telling you, Monday's coming, and you're going to be back in the office, and life and business is going to come at you. You need to go through your notes. You need to highlight, give me the top 3 things to get true. Who here, make some noise, has gotten some value this week? That warms every little JobTread employee's heart right there. Who here, if a month from now, they have not, make a noise, a month from now, you got a lot of value, but a month from now, you haven't done anything with the information. Make a noise on that. Oh, yes. If you just identify the top 3 things, the chances of you implementing goes way up. I know this is boring, but I'm telling you, now's the time, now that you've got all this, dwindle it down, more focus on fewer things, pick your top 3, and you're going to make this even more valuable than it was. And I'll also introduce you to this word. It says parking lot. Parking lot. The parking lot is a list that you literally keep. It might be a Google Doc. It might be in your Evernote. It might be somewhere. Who knows? And it's a list of, that is a great idea that I'm not doing nothing with. That was good English, I feel like. I'm not doing nothing with. Huh? Ain't. That y'all I ain't doing nothing with. Yeah. Oh, that was for my southern friends. Okay. I was chatting with I think that it was Zephyr, and I hadn't met her before. She was out there and she talked. I said, "Oh, that is a lovely accent. Is she here?" Okay. She wanted to be on my podcast. I guess she's not going to be a guest because she didn't come and listen to me speak either. But it turns out she was very sensitive about me saying, "Do you have an Australian accent?" And she's English. Be careful out there, people. Just saying. Parking lot. Great ideas that you're not going to do anything with. Top 3 and make it your list in the parking lot. So my key takeaways of this. It's your roadmap. It's not somebody else's. It's your journey. It's your race. It's your life. Figure out and get clear with what your 2030 looks like. And then work it back. Look at your 6 areas of business. Put a bunch of stuff in the parking lot. And then get really focused on what you're going to do this quarter. Go into your calendar and set a reminder for 4 weeks from now. How am I doing with my top 3 from JobTread? Go back to one of your employees and say, let's schedule a monthly meeting where you're going to ask me about things that we did at JobTread. If you're here with team members, if you book a meeting 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, I guarantee you will make more progress on these things that you're fired up about right now. As the days go from a conference like this, who here got value this week? Who here is coming back next year? Who here thinks I should obviously be the keynote again? Oh, good. I mean, I've done it back-to-back years. They probably will want me to come back here next year. We'll see. Eric's very handsome, by the way. That Anna, she is so lovely. And I'm going to be ripped. It's so weird. Sometimes I'm up here and then somebody will be like, that was funny when you said this. And I'm like, how in the world did I get to talking about my shirt? Some things come out up here. I apologize if I've offended anybody. Focus, 1, 2, 3. So there's some ideas related to that. All right, we have 8 minutes left. We have 8 minutes left, folks. This slide was added a little bit ago. It says, Kyle riffs on frogs, undergarments, other items, or Q&A with the remaining time. Frogs. All right, we got some frogs. Let's riff on some frogs. Not a single person said undergarments. Frogs. Eat your frog. Eat your frog. You can write that down if you're taking notes. Eat your frog. Your frog it's a Brian Tracy thing. He was a personal development guy from the 80s, 90s. And he said, if you had to eat a live frog every day, what would you do? You had to eat a live frog every day, what would you do? And the analogy is your frog is the most important thing you need to get done that you're most likely to put off. Anybody know what those are? That client that you've been putting off and having that hard conversation with, that is your frog. If you can identify that at the start of your day, and if you can eat your frog first thing in the morning, your day is going to go so much better. Eat your frog, eat your frog. There's a big sticker at the Remodelers on the Rise booth. We're sold out of them. So that's the eat your frog. You have 3 other items on there. What do we want next? Do we want a Q&A? Oh, undergarments. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I was wondering if anybody wanted to talk about that. Professional Keynote. I heard a story on day 1 at JobTread Connect. I won't mention names, but happens to be one of my peer group clients. He was checking in at this illustrious hotel, and I think it was Travis. Anybody familiar with Travis? Anybody love Travis? Okay. I'd like a little more love for Travis. Anybody love Travis? Oh. Travis, you in here? Oh. Is anybody in here? Who am I talking to? Is this are you guys AI? What's going on? Travis overheard this JobTread client of his say, oh crap. Turns out I forgot my socks and my undergarments. I've workshopped this a few times. What do you think the second place word that I was going to use for this was? Underpants was number 2. And then it just gets weird after that. It's already weird. Travis heard this JobTread client say, I forgot my underpants and my socks. And Travis said, I got you. Travis literally got in the car, went to a store, and brought back, you guessed it, fresh, clean, you know what. If that is not customer service, I don't know what is. Fun little story. How you can apply that to your business, I'm sure a lot of different ways, but your client experience is very, very important. And when you think about and you just step back and you look at the experience that your client is getting from the time they reach out to you until that project is completed, and even after, that year or 2 after it's completed, there are so many ways that we can continue to tweak and improve that. And if you're spending time in your production meetings, in your office meetings, and you just have a little agenda item that says client experience, and you're consistently coaching and leading and talking about how to enhance your client experience, you are strengthening your business. You are strengthening your business. So that's my story about underpants. The end. That's not quite the end. Okay. All right, and then we're left with, see, this is what I was talking about. Right there. Right there. Right there. I will tell a story related to this. I was listening to this is Q&A time / Kyle Riffs time. We're not going to do questions. Kyle's just going to talk for 3 more minutes. And then you're going to clap loudly for Eric, okay? I was watching an interview with Jerry Seinfeld. It was years ago. And this guy was interviewing Seinfeld, and he was at his apartment, and he looked at this thing on the wall, and it was just a calendar, and it had a bunch of X's through each day. And the guy said, what's that? And Seinfeld said, well, that's that marks, I cross that out when I have written a joke that day, when I have sat down and worked on my material. He said, don't break the chain. That's my focus. I don't break the chain. I don't break the chain. I don't break the chain. Interesting that one of the more prolific comedians of our time, how does he do it? Consistency. I don't break the chain. Every day, whether it's for 10 minutes or 3 hours, he wrote content. And I took that, I was on the road that day, and I said, you know what? My don't break the chain is doing 100 crunches a day, like one of these. That counts as one. That doesn't count as two. Don't cheat yourself. And I can usually do about 50 of them, and then I'm done, and I take a little break. I've had chains over the years. This was 6 years ago. I've chains over the years where I was like 250 days straight, 150 days straight, and then I break the chain. And oh man, when I break the chain, usually it's like about 3 months later, I'll get back to it. Life, business is so much about just being consistent in the fundamentals. There's no magic in this, guys. If I want to be healthy, if I want to look that, I need to stop eating like a pig sometimes. I need to move my body. We know how to get healthy. If I want to improve my marriage, I need to be more intentional. I need to spend more time. I need to take my focus off what I want and say, what does my wife need? I need to be more intentional. I want to have better relationships with my kids. It's not rocket science. I need to love them. I need to care. I need to spend time with them. And less importantly, it's the same thing in your business. You want your business to improve, it's a combination of little things. It's fundamentals. You have so much new knowledge, reminders that you had this week. Go out there and implement. Go out there, make sure you're having fun. Make sure you're not taking on too much at a time. Cast your vision of where you want to go in the future, and then get serious about what you're going to focus on this next quarter. Hot diggity dog, we're done 1 minute early. And somebody's going to ask one more question, and then we're going to clap it up. Because maybe they have like the video timed right. I want one question. The man said, boxers or briefs. Now, is he talking specifically about what I wear? Or is he wondering, what did Travis go with? And you're also finding, you're also thinking, did he ask the gentleman? Here's the thing. I will tell you, boxers or briefs, if I do the keynote again next year. Until that time, it's a mystery.